for Werribee will go up against Tom Downey of the Seagulls. Ball down, up and away to start anti-day footy, and look at the wind take that ball. Will Fordham over the top of it as he tries to extract it, can't, and that footy won't be coming out of there. We've already had a Seagull hit the deck, and this is the type of game we're going to get. Strap yourselves in. Daly Andrews on the deck. Bit of push and shove over the top. Going in strong was Jalen Pavlidis as play goes on. Conway sends a high ball up towards right half forward. Bouncing ball out the back, taking it well for Werribee was Payer. Just about got a disposal away. Williamstown off left half back. Fighting for it, Finbar O'Dwyer. And we'll have it thrown up at right half forward, just outside attacking 50 here for Werribee.
Big fight. Daly Andrews was right in the thick of it, was trying to get his opponent into a grapple hold. The wind seriously pushing to the left of your screen here, and you will see that as the match goes on. So I feel like the left of screen, that's where we're going to be heading towards. Again, another stoppage right on Port Phillip Bay here at Williamstown. One of the more picturesque backdrops that we have. Here is Andrews. It's his body over the ball, but yet another stoppage.
Daly Andrews been in it a bit early on, was the Cooper Hamilton impersonator across the Werribee socials last week, because they had a bit of banter there as it's slapped out of the rock from Downey towards the boundary line. There's been a hold picked out, and there'll be a Williamstown free kick at left half back for Mitch Cox, the former VFL Lion, of course was AFL listed with Brisbane, and of course before that the Dolphins, as he sends a kick down the line. The flies will come, no one able to reel it in as it hits the deck. Williamstown looking for their first entry inside 50 up towards Blake Coleman, who may well have been pushed out of it unfairly. Umpires thought not as play goes on, and breaking clear of half-back Jalen Pavlidis as they'll break up towards left half-back. Advantage played for Werribee, who will surge up towards centre half forward over the head of Garoni. Chance out the back, Williamstown with the numbers. Body work was on Harry Grintel. Ball to the pocket and out of play for a boundary throw-in.
Really good movement there from Werribee. They were scintillating, and good body work from Williamstown's defence. Get the ball in, and Werribee will look to try and cement their place with this wind here. Williamstown back-to-back games here after losing to the Dogs at this venue last week. Came out to Payer. Fordham tries to go in Grintel there as well, and I think that's going to be a free kick. It is too high. And the Tigers, they're going to have the first shot on goal, and it is going to be Harry Grintel, who last week 2 goals, 15 disposals, 8 tackles as well. This would be a very welcome start. Not an easy kick, and he's going to run around. Bated breath. Everyone's sort of in a hush here as they wait for this kick to come. Call to move on. And he has absolutely shanked it. It's gone across the face of goal. Players bursting through. Here is Garoni, smothered off the boot by Collier Dawkins. And it gets wrapped in.
A great second effort there from Hudson Garoni. Saw the initial kick smothered, but went back in, butted up and tried to win it back as it's thrown up at the goal mouth. No one able to get a clean disposal out of there. And they'll fight tooth and nail. Players from both sides. Fordham then came in to try and take it out. Thrown up again, Downey slapping it forward. Fordham looking to track it down. Andrews there ahead of him, bursts away from the congestion to the boundary line. Andrews centering up toward the top of the square. Seagulls back there, off hands, no mark. Can anyone get it through from a Werribee point of view? It's kept in play as Williamstown elect not to rush it as they look for the clearing ball towards half back. Great mark across the front. Sterling take from Nathan Cooper, who will look to load Werribee back up inside 50. Couple of kicks from home on a normal day, on a windy day like this. Nathan Cooper might fancy that he's got the trip from here. He's not a noted goal kicker. In fact, has never kicked a VFL goal, Nathan Cooper. Goes right-footed, gives it a look, coming back, will drop at the goal mouth and fisted through for the opening score of the game. It's a Werribee behind.
Certainly gave that a roost. Tigers do lead. Williamstown looked to move it out very quickly, but the spoil came. It is Garoni. And he pushes, not 15 called, so kicked inside by Brew. The quick kick came out. There is the first goal. And it was a very nice one at that. I believe it was Angus Hicks. It was. Well, the former Richmond Tiger kicks one for the Werribee Tigers. And they take the early ascendancy.
Yeah, third of the year. Brilliant stuff from Angus Hicks. Read that superbly.
He did.
And crashed it through.
Brilliantly done by Brew as well. And Garoni was superb with that spoil just to affect it and get the ball down. Williamstown just a bit lackadaisical in the way they went about that kick out.
They certainly were, and again, great work from Angus Hicks, who you know quite well with the Richmond connection.
Yes. He's been a stalwart of the Richmond Tigers VFL lineup for a long time and made the move across. Kept the same animal though.
So we go back in the middle, one down by Downey as the Smalls get to work. It's soccered forward from a Werribee point of view. As they look to get things going, Andrews there again, quickly onto the right boot, bobbling ball inside 50. Johnson attacks it hard and he got brought to the deck. We'll have it thrown up. Werribee with the early attacking here. Johnson into the rock, he won it down. Good tap as Werribee looked to burst through. Strong tackle over the top from Riley Collier-Dawkins, if we're keeping on with the Richmond connection.
Yeah, they would have played a lot together at the Tigers over the last couple of years. Collier-Dawkins delisted by Richmond at the end of the 2022 season. 11 games at AFL level for him as Andrews came in strong. Too strong on Toby Triffitt, playing a milestone game, number 50 for him at VFL level. Formerly of the Brisbane Lions side as well. Good luck to him in his milestone day. Certainly, here goes Triffitt. Kicks to the near side, the wind does take that, the pack will fly and it's punched away. It'll be a ball in on the wing here. Just forward of centre for the Werribee Tigers. We do believe the ball is going to be to the left of screen for the majority of the day with the way the wind is going. It's just going to take so much more of an effort to get it to the right, but that is the beauty of suburban footy, isn't it, Ollie?
Yep.
You never know what you're going to get. And it's tossed in. Slap came by Conway, and here go Williamstown. Collier-Dawkins does really well. And Williamstown quick kick inside the forward 50. That's from Petrich. Blake Coleman is there. He's going to have to run onto it. He tries to get a foot to it. He's pushed down. No free kick given. And the Tigers, they can try and regroup and recuperate and get it outside 50. Here is Andrews. Runs through. Dodges Petrich and kicks towards Downey. And that is going to be a holding free kick for obstructing the play, and Werribee can move it on. Here is Malwal. Takes a bounce. Look at him run. He takes Downey on. Takes another bounce. Here he goes. Takes a third on, and Downey got him. He got the quick kick away. And Werribee through Dalhouse. It's taken right on the line by McHale.
McHale towards left half back. Wants the relieving ball, and it's a good take there by Corey Rich in front of the Daly Andrews pressure. At left half back for the Seagulls. He's called to go. Had an overlap on the outside, sent down the line by O'Dwyer. Hangs in the sky as the pack formed. Spoiled away as Werribee looked to work it forward. Handball only went as far as Triffitt, who was spun around as he kicked. It was a decent one in the end as Corey Ellison looked to swoop on. He got a handball out wide as Williamstown looked to work it forward in that way. McHale goes short with a kick looking for Blake Coleman. Couldn't quite find him, and Werribee can rebound potentially here. They won't with that kick. It's out of bounds on the full. Intended target there was Riley Bice, who spent time playing for Albury on the border. Williamstown can look to send it back inside 50. Towards left half forward off the hands as Ellison tried to mark. Good roving at ground level as it's sent forward. The kick wasn't the best though from Toner, and that's out of bounds on the full.
Interesting start to this contest. Werribee leading it 7-0. And umpire calls them to move on. Long kick towards half-back for the Tigers. Conway did bring it to ground. Here is Paulson, the former Blue, to Coleman. Not 15, so he's called to move on, and now they can go inside the 50. Off hands, and that's going nowhere. The tackle of Lewis Pinnock, too good.
Yeah, really unlucky not to play in the state game. Of course, he was named, but was late withdrawal. He's had a super start to the year, Louis Pinnock.
Really has. Here we go. Back up into the ruck. The quick kick came out, and trickles through over the boundary line.
So a stoppage in the left forward pocket for Williamstown. The breeze is strong, and we thought that we wouldn't see the ball down here too much today, but Williamstown have got it where they wanted at the moment. As it's thrown in from the left forward pocket. Ellison in the ruck from behind, looked to get a bit of separation on Conway, then smothered his kick. Handball back with Rich, who looked to get it out of there any way he could. And that ball won't be coming out of there, as much as so many tried, including Emmanuel Ajang over the top. Bit in this one early. Ellison again won it down in the ruck. Triffitt looking to get there, couldn't quite. Toner over the top, may well have been in the back. Umpire didn't see it that way. And Toner will now rise to his feet. So just over 10 gone. Werribee with the only goal of the game so far, thanks to Angus Hicks. Again, it's one down in the ruck. Strong tackle as the ball just about breaks free. In there strong was Bjorn Maluel. Get us out of here, Val.
We'll try. We'll see how we go.
Not that you can do much from here, but
maybe we can scream loud enough and tell him to move the ball. Slapped down by Conway. And he'll go try and get in the second if it tries to do a bit of a blind turn, the big man. He does all right. Ajang does well, but it's a free kick to Williamstown. They were almost out there, but here go the Seagulls. Fordham thought it was going to be his, but it is going to be Corey Ellison. Now he's probably a kick and a half from home. Had a lead from Petrich, but ignored it. Now I think he's going to have to go long, and the big men are going to have to get down to the goal square. Ellison props it up to the hot spot. And the fly comes. It was massive. It was huge from Ebinger. The quick kick came out, and Cooper White clears the kick. Off hands and push in the back there. Surely it is. And Luke Parks will take the free kick and send Williamstown back forward.
So another former Blue like Paulson, Luke Parks, has played for the Blues at both AFL and VFL level in terms of being on the respective lists, as he sends it up towards right half forward. The flies will come here. No one able to reel it in at ground level. Philpott on the overlap. Looks for the cute kick towards Petrick, who had taken the ball cleanly, but hadn't gone the 15, and that'll be a boundary throw-in. So
it was a huge fly before from Nicholas Ebinger.
Nick Ebinger going high and nearly reeling it in. There's been a free kick given here as Corey Rich was dumped as the boundary umpire was preparing to hoist the ball back in, and a free one for Corey Rich, who's a couple away from 100 at the level.
He is.
According to the brilliant Brendan Rhodes, who is wonderful with the stats that he brings out. So Corey Rich, formerly of Sandringham and Frankston, 2018 Team of the Year member and playing locally this year for Old Haileybury. Will look to move in, one of the more prolific sharpshooters at this level over the past few years. It's coming back, it's going too far back to the goal mouth and spoiled through for a behind. That's Williamstown's first score of the game.
It is. It looked good off the boot, but just didn't have the distance, and might be the wind, which has died down a little bit through the last post. It was actually rocketing the scaffold that we're on, and the roof was shuddering.
It's not the most safe scaffold I've ever been on, let's be honest.
No. We're not really scaffold people.
No, not quite.
That's all right. We digress. Williamstown through Werribee through Dalhouse. Have the ball. Cooper White couldn't take the mark, and in the back. So Dalhouse will have a second crack at it. This kick a bit more high, up and under. Finds the target. This is Maluel. Sharp pass inside the 50. It was almost like he hit Stoddart out, the former Dolphin. Played a couple of games for the Sydney Swans across 3 seasons, 2018 to 2020. 2 games in each of those seasons. Ball does spill out there through Rich, and a push in the back. So there's been a few pushes already so far this morning, but Corey Rich, who had that last shot on goal, will have the ball on the wing and try and send Williamstown forward.
So Rich calling for players in blue and gold to go long. That's where the kick goes. Right-footed ball up towards half forward. And getting a hand on it was Wardell Llewellyn into the team this week in his first game for the year and 18th in his career. Formerly of Casey, made his debut there in 2019. Thrown in on the edge of right half forward for Williamstown. Downey in front. Philpott charging through. Quick kick. looking to try and repel there were Werribee, but they were unable to do so, and we'll have it thrown up on the 50.
It's been a really good response from Williamstown.
One down by Downey for Fordham. Kick up towards a hot spot. Coleman couldn't quite trap it. Numbers with Williamstown at ground level. Ellison trying to fight hard. Watching on over the top was Nathan Cooper. And no one able to break it free. And so we've got a stoppage. About 20 from home. Can Williamstown get it free? Ellison into the ruck again. Ebbinger over the top. And yet another stoppage. It's been stoppage heavy, and if you're expecting a free-flowing game of footy in these conditions, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, you're not getting it.
We've already had 11 hit-outs in this game, so that it just goes to show 12 hit-outs now. Just the quick kick-out came and does go over the heads of a lot of the players here. Johnson did really well, and now they can move it on. Here is Dalhouse. Keeps running, takes a couple of bounces. Handball over the top, Grintel, and they're going to have a shot on goal here, and it's Garoni. That was champagne ball movement. And really classy from Aiden Johnson just to get that little fist over the top. Dalhouse did really well.
Well, that was pretty free-flowing.
Very good.
Against literally what I've just said about 30 seconds earlier. That was brilliant ball movement. And you've got it in good hands if you're a Werribee supporter with Garodi. He's kicked over 100 goals at level himself. So without trying to put the moz on him, you'd probably back him from here.
2 goals, 3 last week, so he'd be wanting to make amends. Hudson Garoni coming back. Touched.
Had the line worked out perfectly, but just couldn't get the journey on it that he wanted. I didn't think that would be the problem with the wind, but alas. Sometimes you expect the unexpected, particularly with the conditions the way they are. Start out from fullback. Clears defensive 50 with ease. Cooper was best placed. Ellison from behind. As Werribee will get it cleared. Darby Henderson returning. Just sends it long and says to his teammate in Corey Rich, go and chase that. He was beaten to the ball. Back there for Werribee was Jalen Pavlidis, who was brought to ground. Rich didn't give it up. Brilliant forward pressure from Corey Rich, who would not let Pavlidis free.
He tried to milk that 50 there. Went down very hard.
How many times have we seen embellishment in sports? Happens all the time, so you can't begrudge Corey Rich. The umpire wasn't buying what he was trying to sell, though. And another chance for Corey Rich. Will kick from just inside 50. The stutter step. The right-footed effort. Looks good off the boot. That is absolutely textbook. How good did that look off the boot?
Wow.
And Williamstown are on the board.
That was a gorgeous drop punt. And he had a similar shot. It was a tougher angle than the shot that he had before. But he learned from it. And Corey Rich, well, that was unbelievable. Williamstown there on the board and got a game on our hands here.
Into the headwind, that's about as nice a set shot I've seen in a while. Like, of course, we both watch a lot of footy, but that is exactly how you kick a set shot. If there's anybody watching at home who's trying to learn this great game, and I'm certainly not one to teach you, have a look at that and play it over and over again, because that is exactly how you kick a set shot.
Splendid, sensational. There are no superlatives, but Williamstown, they'll have one. Great, because they're on the board and they're only a point behind. 8-7 in favour of the Werribee Tigers in this almost Western showdown. Both teams not too far from each other in proximity. Werribee and Williamstown both in Melbourne's West, and Seagulls do get the quick clearance there, but the Tigers are the beneficiaries. Collier Dawkins just managed to get the kick away. Here's Darby Henderson, who's going to have to pick it up. Does really well. Got the kick away to Mitch Cox and came off. They've called it out on the full, I think, but that definitely came off Corey Ellison's hand. We heard the little slap. Was it over the line or not? Big fly came from Garoni, who took a nice mark. Mitch Cox almost interfering after that, but Garoni now has got a runner in Preston, doesn't want to use him. And he'll go long towards the attacking 50, where there will be a massive pack that does fly. Goes to Daly Andrews, who does well, got the quick kick forward. Now Williamstown under a little bit of pressure, but they can move it on. Corey Rich doing work all over the ground. And the quick kick is nice, and the Seagulls can stop and prop through Joel Fitzgerald.
The former VFL bomber has had an impressive start to the year as Joel Fitzgerald. Will go down the line. The pack will form. Fly over the top came from Cooper, who elected to spoil. Fordham with a pirouette. Gave the handball across to Henderson as they look to link up through hands. Collier Dawkins stepping through a couple. This is nice from Williamstown so far. Fordham. Kick wasn't his best. Might still work for the Seagulls here. Bounce wrong-footed a few, and Bice was the beneficiary. Handball inboard. Garoni for a bit of poise. Looking for DeClace, and they've got it in good hands here. 98 goals at VFL level for Kai DeClace. But he is in no position to shoot for goal from here. Certainly not. Chipping ball up towards half forward. No mark there. Probably should have been taken by Riley Stoddart, but might not matter. Henderson, inside 50 he goes, looking for Ebinger. Good mark over the top. And Werribee, through Louis Pinnock, can get themselves down the ground here.
Pinnock, the kick didn't look too good, but Dalhouse managed to join in with Keast. Kick comes over the top, and that is nice ball movement. Riding, switches, goes to DeClace, who you said before, Ollie, it's in good hands. That kick is nice. And now they can go inside 50 through Clark. The spoil came, and it was a good one at that. It was really nicely done by Parks. And there's been a downfield free kick awarded, and Williamstown will continue to move it on. Here is Corey Allison on the wing. So he thought the game would be played towards the left of screen, but Williamstown have responded really nicely after the first 10 or so minutes, where Werribee did a lot of the attacking. The wind has died down slowly. Fordham, the former Dolphin, kicks high and long. Almost bringing the mark down. There was Pinnock. Downey's there. Pinnock gets the handball out to DeClace, and now they can move it on. The kick from Preston was a laser. Riding does well, solves some candy. Kicks towards the attacking 50, and that kick is well marked by Parks.
Parks lining up on Sam Conway.
Bit of a size difference there.
Certainly is. Conway standing at 204 centimetres, the tallest player on Werribee's list. Kick down the line. Ellison with the fly. And staying much lower was Jesse Clark, who will be paid the mark here. On the near side wing for the Tigers. Jesse Clark right-footed. Inside 50 he goes. No one able to take the mark, but still a chance. Here's DeClace. Handball off Daly Andrews. He's brought to ground by O'Dwyer. Someone got the handball away. Collier Dawkins back the other way. Pirouetting through. Handball out wide. Set O'Dwyer a bit of a tax down low, and Bice made sure that he was corralled over the boundary line.
Really good stalemate, this one. Both teams not really willing to wilt at all, and they're just giving it their all.
I think so many people think good footy's high-scoring footy. This is quality. Johnson slapping it towards the boundary line. Jang looking to get there. And that'll be over the boundary line again with Fordham close to Werribee's number 39.
Riley Collier-Dawkins, leading disposal getter on the ground at the moment with 7. Corey Rich with 6, and Hudson Garoni 6. The leading disposal getter for Werribee.
Johnson from behind, DeClace looking to do the roving. He was beaten to the ball by his teammate in Jack Henderson, who sent it high up towards Garoni. Ball hits the deck. McHale as Williamstown clear outside 50. But Pinnock will mark, and this ball will be going straight back from whence it came. Louis Pinnock, right-footed, looking for a chest, but no mark. Again, charging through there was Jack Henderson. I'll tell you what, Jack Riding's done a couple of nice things in the last couple of minutes. Almost took the mark on the chest there. Had a nice moment on the far side wing a few moments ago. Maybe one to watch.
Certainly is. Quick kick away from Collier Dawkins once again, and it's a good one here. Here's Jovan Petric, one of the best names in the VFL. The quick kick was good. Collier Dawkins once again. That kick wasn't great. Fordham somehow manages to weave his way through traffic. Does beautifully. The kick not so great. Here is Coleman. Trying to find the teammate there in Philpott. Oh, sorry, Noah Gadsby, I should say. There we go.
I've seen a lot of Will Fordham at Frankston, but how good was that?
That was brilliant.
He's capable of things like that. He's brilliant stepping through traffic.
Certainly is, as the ball goes down once again. But Werribee's defence has been really good today. They're getting back in numbers, and the Tigers are swarming the Seagulls. just not allowing them any movement. Can Williamstown try and get this ball out? The hit out came. Allison got it out. Trying to burst through here is Coleman. Does beautifully. Kick towards goal. It's beautiful. Williamstown hit the lead.
Blake Coleman, he's a stunning player, isn't he?
He is.
He's one that, if you're Brisbane and you've got another couple of list spots, you keep him around for things like that. So composed, so clever, wonderful kick. And there is only few players in the league who'd be able to do something like that. Such a great acquisition for Williamstown, and we've seen him in flashes. He's not one that will get too much of the ball all of the time. Only had 4 disposals last week for a goal, but when he gets it, you just sense that something's going to happen.
You do. Great goal sense. And kicked a goal last week.
Played 50 games for Brisbane at VFL level. His 50th coming against Werribee in the preliminary final last year that, of course, Werribee went on to win. That one won't be recalled back. Surprised at that as Downey won it down under no duress. Andrews in strong underneath. Got the handball away. As Werribee look to try and get the ball here. They'll get it through Bice, who stepped away from Henderson and away from another. There's a wrestle going on behind play between Triffitt and Anderson. Henderson with a handball short. As the long shot from outside 50 is a beauty. Corey Preston loads up long against his former side. And the former Seagull biting the hand that used to feed him.
Beautifully called by you, Ollie. Absolutely brilliant kick from Corey Preston. He should be absolutely pleased with that. And first time against Williamstown after crossing in the off-season. And, geez, that would make him feel good.
20 games last year for Williamstown. I bet that goal felt sweeter than the 11 he kicked last year. Than any of the 11 he kicked. Using the breeze to perfection.
Well, he knows this ground well.
Certainly.
So, he knows where to kick them from. Daly Andrews and Toby Triffitt, they are continuing to prod and poke each other here, and I reckon things are going to spill over very, very shortly. They were just involved in a little bit of a scrimmage off the plate. Werribee back in front by that solitary point. Ball comes out and Williamstown are going to try and force it forward once more. They will do so. Kick inside the 50 is a good one. Mark dropped by Petrich, who managed to paddle it out. Here is Paulson. Shrugs the shoulders, does well. Ebbinger towards goal. Beautifully done. Now it's free-flowing.
How's that for an instant response?
Perfect reply. And yet another lead change.
Tell you what, it's great to see Nick Ebbinger get a free run at it. He's had an injury-ravaged career and would have played so much more footy if not for the spells out, not only with injury but also the forced ones we had with COVID and the like. But he's a super player to watch, and he does so many exciting things. You'd have a pretty good highlight reel if you compiled all the stuff that he's done at this level over his career. That's a really nice goal to put Williamstown back in front. The breeze has died down, but they'd be buzzing with this opening effort in the first half an hour or just under that we've seen so far, and that bounce will be recalled. I'm not exactly sure this is a day to be bouncing the pill.
Yeah, it's the ground. I think would be a little bit wet, but I think it should dry up a little bit soon.
Andrews roving the Conway tap, sends it up towards right half forward. There's Riding after his direct opponent slipped in Jake Greiser. As Williamstown look to get it clear by hooker by Crook. There's Andrews again, bursting onto the ball. Got the handball across. Quick kick out of the congestion, bounced through for a behind.
I think it was Angus Hicks that kicked that out.
So he's got 1 goal, 1.
Yep.
Does that one go short for O'Dwyer?
So Finn O'Dwyer just made it somebody else's problem. That person was Fitzgerald, and the kick was not great. And Riley Bice is going to send it back inside 50. Will he back himself with the distance here? No, he's going to go short. And that had to be a free kick, surely. I thought there was a hold on Garoni. Didn't get paid. Looked like he had his shumper tugged a little bit there, but
it did.
Umpire said no. They're a lot closer than what we are.
You're always backing the umpires.
Tossed in. Tap came from Johnson. Downey did well. Andrews was there. Malual as well. Haley Andrews, he's just such an absolute live wire for this Werribee lineup and so creative, and he really gets in the head of his opponents.
I hope he doesn't mind me saying this. He's a pest in the best way possible from a Werribee point of view. He's the player that if you're lining up alongside him, you're just thinking, oh, goodness, not him.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what I think Werribee would want out of him and what James Allen would want out of him. As Williamstown, through Fitzgerald, can load it up towards the wing. Looking to reel it in was Lual, and he probably should have done in the end. Here's Petrick, almost caught. Malual will take it on. In towards the middle of the ground. Great ball. Pavlidis had the option short in Riley Bice. Elected not to use it initially and will go wider to DeClace on the far side wing. So Kai DeClace, as time in this first term winds down, right-footed ball is short for Cooper White, who we've really not seen a lot of. The former Cat, who played one game as a sub at AFL level, loads up long towards the pocket. Garoni is there. Across the front was O'Dwyer, who couldn't reel it in. And a big pack of players over the top of the ball. And we'll have this one thrown up at right half forward, just about for Williamstown towards the right forward pocket.
Long quarter of footy, 31 minutes gone.
For Werribee, rather.
As ball about to be tossed in once more on the outer side, where it's, as I said, one of the more picturesque venues in VFL footy. The water, a perfect backdrop of Port Phillip Bay, and you can see right in the background, Trevor Barker Oval is probably somewhere out that way. Don't know exactly where, as a free kick has been plucked, and it's going to go the way of the Tigers. I think it might have been for too high. I'm not sure. It was an infringement on the ruck, and it's going to be Aidan Johnson taking a free kick after the siren here at quarter time. This would be something special for Werribee if they can regain the lead right on the buzzer. Aidan Johnson, really big kick, kicks it right on the paint of 50. This is to the near side. So that'll be it for the opening term here at Williamstown. It is the Seagulls leading at 3-1-19 to Werribee 2-4-16. Some of the leading disposal getters goes. And we are about to be underway. He does a couple of jumps. And there we go. Up into the second term. Collier Dawkins paddles it away. Slipping over there was a Jung. Comes to Fordham. To Philpott, who kicks in board. There was it was decked after it. So Ebbinger finds Collier Dawkins, who I reckon he would back himself here in the way he's striding back. I reckon he will give himself every chance of kicking this goal.
There's a bit of a tailwind behind him as well, of course. It'll help him a little bit.
So Riley Collier Dawkins, the former Richmond AFL listed player, took so long to get that debut in 2021. Comes in, kicks it from the centre square. It's lovely. That is a massive start for the Seagulls.
And as I mentioned, that tailwind, giving him probably that little 1 or 2% that he probably needed to clear the man on the line. It was a good effort on the line too, if I may say so, but he's a good player, Riley Collier Dawkins. It's a shame really that we didn't see how good he can be at AFL level, but you wouldn't discount him for another chance if he plays well at this level, and he's going to have plenty of chances for what will be a top VFL side.
Tell you what, Richmond would love him at the moment with all the injuries they've got.
It's the thing, isn't it? Play your D list, it's a risk you take, and you might be running around in their ones in a different universes. It's one down by Sam Conway. Collier Dawkins there again. Conway will go again and almost pretty much get on to the end of his own hit out. It was interesting the point you made about inside 50s, but I feel like Williamstown held it in there when they got it in there, and Werribee was sort of just one and done, which is something that I want to fix up here. One down again by Downey. That looked like a free kick and was given away by Don Brew on Collier Dawkins. So Riley Collier Dawkins getting a little bit busy here with the Travis Cloak glove on, looks to step around one. Handball back And the kick across from O'Dwyer found Luke Parks, who didn't break stride. Kick up towards left half forward is a beauty. A drop mark from McHale that he should have taken. Handball in board. Here's Greiser. Straightens up, right-footed, and nails it. The Williamstown veteran with a big goal. It's 2 quick ones for the Seagulls.
That is a monumental start to the quarter for Williamstown. We're 2.5 minutes in and they've already slotted 2 majors. Disaster for Werribee, who did so well to keep themselves in that opening quarter, despite Williamstown really forcing back late. And the home side really utilising their conditions, and what a wonderful finish there from Jake Greiser. That was splendid.
And we know he does most of his work in the back 50, so you know you've got the journey from there, because he does it so often in the field, but kicking at goal, that was lovely.
We had a perfect view of that going through. So Williamstown have a 15-point buffer. Werribee need to lift. Downey got the slap down and it went to Fordham, who the handball was beautiful. Back to Downey, who kicks along inside the attacking 50. Came off hands. The chase is on towards the ball. And they can run it out through Bice here. Quick kick came. And I think Bice was taken down after he kicked it, I believe. Or
it was a downfield free kick.
Yeah, it was. So, Bior Malawal will take the kick, and the wind just has picked up a little bit here, and he goes for the laser, and, well, it's not good. And Williamstown, now through Brown, can kick forward, and they'll back themselves in again here, and Corey Ellison, the former Casey Demon, only had the 6 disposals last week. He will want to give himself every chance here to kick one pretty much from where Riley Collier-Dawkins slotted his at the start of the term.
A VFL Premiership player too with Casey. He's one of my favourites in this league. He's a super player. Very efficient in front of goal usually too. Again, not to try and curse him here, but he's certainly one you'd want kicking for goal if you're Williamstown.
Ellison comes in. Little skip step. Got under it a little bit. It will get the journey and touched on the goal line. Excellent work in defence from Werribee, but that margin out to 16.
And growing. Werribee look a little bit flustered here to start this second term. They don't want this margin growing out anymore as Bice plays on. Takes about his full measure. Clears defensive 50 with a bullet to find Don Brew. Left half back. Chips it forward further afield as Werribee look to get the runners forward in front of the benches. Strong tackle over the top from Minton Connell, who is of course the son of Simon Minton Connell, who played for a number of clubs at the top level. One down by Downey. Andrews over the top, looking to try and extract it. No one able to get it out of there. We'll have it thrown up once more. Andrews looking to get there, couldn't quite. As Werribee emerged with it, kick up towards centre half forward. Looking to race onto the ball there was Malawal. They get it inside 50, Werribee riding, looking to go off the deck. Handball was short. As the quick snap on goal will actually venture out wide for Garoni. Fell in his breadbasket and he dropped it. Did he drag it in there against Parks? He looks to tap it on whichever way he can, Hudson Garoni. It emerges out of there. Greiser, he's taken down. Footy in the vicinity. Fitzgerald involved as it's barreled clear and away by Minton Connell. Up towards the wing. Off hands. Ellison. Away go Williamstown.
Here they go. Rich kicks inside the 50 and it is a good one. They're going to be having another shot on goal. And it's Jack McHale coming into the team this week. Former Sandy Zebra. Gone from one side of the bay to the other. Giving the ball back to the umpire here. Not sure what's happening. Is there a blood rule?
Oh, player down inside defensive
yes.
50 for Williamstown.
So
I'm not sure who the player is. It's inside Williamstown's defensive 50.
And he's not moving. So I think play will stop here for the time being. We're at 7 minutes 14 in this second term, and the players will huddle up and just give themselves every chance of getting the message right. But this is really concerning here as we try and find out who the player is. But there's about 4 Williamstown officials overlooking things, and really concerning. Didn't actually see what happened. Must have been from the contest before. Moving now, so things are okay. Doctors and club physios looking quite concerned. Keeping his body very still, so we'll wait and confirm who that player is. Definitely not what you want to see on the footy field. Sitting up now, which is much more, or a much better look, but Doctor touching sort of the back of his head there, so hopefully things are all okay.
Trying to work out who isn't on the Williamstown bench or around it.
So it is Finn O'Dwyer, and he is being helped off by the doctors to the applause of his teammates and the Williamstown parochial fans. He's actually walking off now, so I think it might have just been a little knock to the head, and I dare say with the concussion protocols involved in footy at the moment, I don't think we're going to be seeing Finn O'Dwyer for the rest of the day, which is quite a shame because he's had 6 disposals and had a bit of an impact on this contest. But we'll go back to where Jack McHale took the mark, and he'll be having a shot on goal once again.
Just a quick one on O'Dwyer. He's had plenty of injuries, so it's a horrible one. It's horrible to see any player go down, but when you've got a player who's already had plenty of injuries, it's never nice. So we send our best wishes to Finn O'Dwyer, and hopefully it's not as bad as it first looked.
Certainly not. So Jack McHale will come in and try and put through Williamstown's third of the quarter, and really inflict some pain. Comes in. Goal umpire, arch the back, looks straight over his head, and he puts out the 2 fingers. That's another one to Williamstown. After a bit of a delay where he could have been a bit rattled seeing his teammate go down, Jack McHale makes good and pops it through.
And all of a sudden it's a 22-point ball game as well.
Came out of nowhere.
It's been an absolute clinic in some facets of the game from Williamstown, and Werribee haven't been able to keep up with them at all at the moment. Still plenty of time, and they've got the players to do it, but they need some of their absolute stars to lift a little bit.
Losing last week certainly doesn't help the Tigers' confidence.
Ball down in the middle. Conway looking for Andrews. Couldn't quite find him as Werribee will get the clearance towards half forwards. A good tackle over the top from Gadsby. Looked straight towards the umpire as if to appeal for the free kick that wasn't forthcoming. Handed back to the umpire by Matt Keast. Conway down again once, then twice. As again, there's fighting tooth and nail for the football. Gadsby in there again. Brew. Again, we'll hand it back to the umpire. Werribee looking to work it forward. Conway grabbed it out of the ruck. Holding. And he'll get the free kick. Handball short for Don Brew. Inside 50 he goes towards Cooper White, who used his body well and took the mark. Great bit of work against Riley Stoddart. And does Cooper White fancy himself here? Doesn't look like it. Will pull the kick short. It was a bullet and too much on the kick as Grintel couldn't reel it in. Williamstown looking to move away off half back. Werribee back on the ball, handball short, intercepted by Fitzgerald. Another whistle, and another free kick here for Werribee, who are still a couple of kicks from home. As it's sent high towards the hot spot. Flyers will come, no one able to take the mark. Gadsby at ground level, had Henderson on short and used him. Quick kick, smothered by Garoni. As Werribee look to send it back inside 50 through Keith, he'll do that. No one at home for the Tigers. It's chopped off by Parks.
Parks with the kick to Paulson, who goes right up the middle of the oval. It bounces over everybody's head. It was really clever from Cox. Did nicely to get the tap out. And now they can switch again here. Here's Gadsby. Pulls the kick inside the 50, and it is a lace out. Cox, whose little fist and thud managed to propel Williamstown inside 50. He's going to be on the end of it and try and net their 4th of the quarter. This has come out of nowhere, and the Seagulls, the faithful here that are braving the cold and windy conditions, they will be loving life. Mitch Cox, former Dolphin and Lion.
Looking for 5 in a row here, Williamstown.
You can hear the claps. They've got another one. They're 4th of the quarter and 5th in a row. And Mitch Cox joins the party. It's all single goal kickers at the moment for the Seagulls. Rich, Cox, Collier Dawkins, Greiser, Ebbinger, Coleman and McHale. For the Tigers, they're only 2 goal kickers, Corey Preston and Angus Hicks. So it's been a long time for them. They would want to get themselves on the board.
It was Corey Preston with that wonderful running goal into time on in the first term that put Werribee in front. That was their last one. 26-26 first term. Then obviously Ebbinger answered straight back, and from then on it's been one-way traffic. And so a 1-point lead for Werribee at the time of the Preston goal, now a 28-point deficit, and that bounce has almost gone all the way to St Kilda.
Wanted to get the barge over under the west gate.
Just throw it up. Just throw it up in this weather. One down by Downey, who will eventually take it on. Handball over the top for Collier Dawkins, who will fire it out wide. Philpott stopped, propped, send it inside 50, and that's another mark inside 50. Where in the world has this onslaught come from? Mitch Cox again.
It's unbelievable. They've come out breathing fire. Usually Tigers are able to outmuscle Seagulls in the wild, but in Williamstown it's a little bit different.
So Mitch Cox looking for 2 quick ones on a personal note and for a team note to get this margin to 34 points. 6 disposals last week and a behind, having more influence on this game than last week. In he moves, right-footed, no trouble with it. Williamstown and Mitch Cox go bang, bang, and alarm bells ring in the Werribee rooms.
DSV Stadium absolutely alight at the moment. The fans are loving it. 6 in a row, and from what was a 1-point lead to the Tigers after that Corey Preston goal, as you said, is now a 34-point deficit. 6-goal turnaround. So mightily impressive. And he's the first multiple goal kicker of the day, Mitch Cox, when 3 minutes ago he didn't even have one.
If that.
I just gave it that little bit of extra
time.
I
was going to say, it feels a lot shorter than that.
I think it might be 1 minute. Downey got the slap down, and that's going to go up once more. So impressed by Williamstown and what they've been able to do this quarter. We said it to be played at the left of screen in the opening term. Well, their opening term was really good, and they kept it to the right a lot. And so we get yet another stoppage that still goes towards Williamstown's attack. And the wind is getting stronger and stronger, and it's coming at a good time for the Seagulls, who have all the momentum.
Just for those playing along at home, it was inside 2 minutes, 13:46 and 15:38, the time of the 2 Cox goals.
Unbelievable. As Daly Andrews tries to will it forward, Ajung using his pace. Collier Dawkins can't quite get the tackle. The kick comes out to Brew. Mark spilled. Fitzgerald dropped it. Here is Riding. Gets the handball away. Keast goes towards attack. Garoni takes the mark. He plays on, wheels around, goes inside the attacking 50, and it's a good, strong mark. Could have almost been 50 there. Philpott came in and gave a little strong elbow, and it is Jay Dalhouse. So, can Werribee... This is the Corey Rich pocket.
Yep.
It's where he slotted a beautiful goal and almost kicked one. But this is a really much needed kick here.
How much of an understatement is it to say that Werribee really need this?
A big one. Jay Dalhouse looked good off the boot, comes back in, and Williamstown, they can propel.
As Williamstown look to clear defensive 50, here's the Claser coming straight back. Handball short for Henderson, right-footed inside 50, big pack forms, Flyers come, Dalhouse in it again, unable to take the mark, free kick for a hold, and it'll be a Werribee free kick. As Garoni comes across to remonstrate, Jack Riding will be the recipient of this free kick. In the bright boots and the long sleeves. A commentator's dream and so easy to identify.
The red hair helps too.
1 goal, 3 in his first 4 games of the year. After joining from North Ballarat. Won the BNF in 2022 there, did Jack Riding, who's called on here. Very deliberate approach, left-footed, and makes the goal umpire work, but gets it and gives it to the Williamstown crowd as such. Werribee have not had much to shout about up to that point, but maybe that's the spark they needed.
Certainly, Ollie, and that's a really good kick, and it was just good to see Werribee keep the ball inside 50, have that repeat entry from that shot there from Jay Dalhouse. Didn't quite make the distance, but they worked really hard to keep it there, and that's exactly what they need. They haven't had it up this end much, but if they can continue to do that, they'll be able to propel themselves back into this contest. Back to 28 points now.
And I still think the game will be won and lost at the left of screen. I think Werribee didn't use the advantage well in the first term. Williamstown having this second, so that'll be something that we'll have to watch.
So the ball goes up again. What can Williamstown do? Fordham lays the tackle, and that ball's not coming out. Collier Dawkins leading all comers on the ground with 13 disposals. Daly Andrews second with 9 for Werribee. Oh, and that's got to be a high tackle there, maybe? No. Umpire saying I think he ducked, and it's Cooper White down there at the bottom of it all. Up we go again. Petrick got the hand down. Williamstown trying to forge it forward, but that's going nowhere, and as they say in baseball, 3 strikes and you're out. 3 stoppages and you're out. Ollie, you can take us over.
Perhaps. Good call. Conway looking to fight through against Petrick and Fordham. And a nest of seagulls over the top of him. So if we're going by that, there's 1 strike. Didn't think we'd be bringing baseball analogies in, but that's what working with Falfebo is like, apparently. As we'll get another stoppage as Henderson looked to burst through.
That was at Brendan Rhodes, actually.
Nice. As Williamstown are on the ball, and they'll send it inside 50. Kick towards Ellison, who couldn't quite reel it in. He'll run after the loose ball to the boundary line, and he was corralled over by Cooper. It didn't look a foot race that Nathan Cooper was ever favourite to win, but he did really well there. Corey Ellison is not slow. Thrown in from the left forward pocket. Petrick in the ruck. Won it down to no real advantage for anyone wearing blue and gold. And we'll call that one a strikeout with a ball out inside forward 50.
Speaking of inside 50s, Werribee have actually had more of them, 24-17. And this ball comes out. Darby Henderson with a little banana towards goal. Spilled over the boundary line. So, it'll be tossed in right at the behind post of Williamstown's attack. It does come in, and the wind really pushes it forward towards the goal. Comes through to Paulson. couple of players dragged down at the bottom of it all. And we'll get another stoppage right in front of the Seagulls goal. What can they conjure up here? Gone 22 and a half minutes in this second term. Tossed up and the pack goes around. Doing really nicely there was Toner, who's had a pretty quiet afternoon so far. And it goes out of play on the outer side pocket.
It was Corey Preston running that one over. Kicked a lovely goal earlier on in the piece, but outside of that, not quite the day so far that he would have liked against his former side. Still time to change that as it's thrown in from the right forward pocket. Conway got there first. Quick kick as he was spun around. There's Cox, who will send it back on. Looking for a third in the term, but that one offline.
They look dangerous every time they go inside 50, don't they, Williamstown?
Mitch Cox, really the catalyst behind a lot of that too.
So they kick along the wing. Comes off the face of Corey Ellison and spills to the ground.
So we've got the Tigers, we've got the Seagulls, and now we've got a Falcon.
I feel like we're becoming very bird orientated, apart from the Tigers.
It's a weird bird.
Yeah. As that one's not coming out. So Werribee have just stemmed the flow a little bit here, and I want to try and get another one. The margin at 29 points, if they can somehow get it to 23 with the wind coming in the third quarter, maybe that can give them something to work with. Who knows? It's going nowhere once again. Umpire says my ball, right in front of the Werribee Tigers bench. The outer side, right in front of the water. Conway got it out and then got the handball out to Mullawal, whose short kick doesn't go too far. Overrunning it there was Parks, Riding, who kicked their only goal of the quarter. Kicks towards attacking 50, goes over everybody's heads. The wind's causing a lot of havoc. Fitzgerald runs around a couple, kicks along the wing, and finds Cox, who wanted to move on.
Wants to get things going quickly, couldn't go as quickly as he wanted, and that's reeling at the second bite of the cherry from the Williamstown forward at right half forward. A spearing ball inside 50. And Jack Toner, who again we've not really seen too much of, takes the mark. So Jack Toner, who's had an impressive start to the year, former Dandenong Stingray, will move in right-footed, sends a kick on its way, and gets it there. So after all we were saying about maybe Werribee going down one end and getting a much-needed goal for them, Williamstown kick one down the other end, and that will go down like a lead balloon in the Tigers' rooms.
8th individual goal kicker for the Seagulls so far in a half of football. That's an astronomical number. Just a really even load shared between everyone, and even with Finn O'Dwyer going down, it didn't take much of a sting out of their run. They've been absolutely brilliant.
It was Jack Brown as well with the setup kick. We're trying to work out who delivered it to him.
Yeah.
It was a great ball.
It was a great mark too.
Yeah.
So Williamstown extend the margin back out to 35. 6-goal gap, and they're going to go forward once again as the kick dribbles and treacles towards the attacking 50. It does go in briefly, and they're not really making too much of an attempt to get rid of it there, the Tigers, but nothing coming of it.
You're never calling that insufficient, even though there was no sufficient intent to keep the ball, and you're never calling that by the rule.
No. If you disguise it well enough, or you make it look like you're trying, even though you're not. Downey got it down. That's going nowhere. Werribee, I think, wanted a push. Williamstown wanted ball.
Toner's lifted here.
He has. Especially, we hadn't seen him much at all. Go through his numbers in a sec. Thudded down by Downey. A quick kick forward. Philpott's there for Williamstown. And did that come off the boot? It did. And Mitch Cox picked that up so quickly. He wanted a third.
They're raffling it off. There's 3.
Yeah.
Toby Triffett was the 3rd Williamstown player to get the ball then.
Yeah.
There was Philpott, Cox, and now Toby Triffett.
Cox picked that up so quickly, but here is Toby Triffett. Surely not from there. No, he goes for the setup. And that is a good, strong grab by Cooper, who hands it off, and Riley Bice wheels onto the left and kicks towards half back, and a nice mark taken there by Angus Hicks.
So the ball at left half back. Chipping ball short. Found Jack Henderson, who had a couple of options presenting. One of them Louis Pinnock, who he ignored and will go further afield instead. Down the line. Not able to take the mark, but a strong tackle then from Triffett. Williamstown crowd expectant they'll be answered with a holding the ball call. Strong stuff from Toby Triffett in VFL game 50. Still more than enough time, you'd think, for another foray forward for Williamstown. Ball down the line, big fly over the top, and the spoil away, but it'll be coming straight back. Handball across for Blake Coleman, who chips it short. There are seagulls everywhere inside 50. One of them, Max Philpott, on the lead, takes the mark, and will go back, looking to push the margin to 41.
Looking to be their 9th individual goal kicker.
He only kicked 5 goals, 7. Oh, sorry, 6 goals, 9. It was 5-7 coming into the year. 1-2 this year, so it's 6 goals, 9 in 43 previous appearances for Max Philpott. Not a noted goal kicker. Would absolutely love one here, goes without saying. Right-footed ball, and puts it straight through the middle. As about as middle can get from Max Philpott. It's the 10th for Williamstown on the day, and they are well clear of their Werribee counterparts.
I think there's a little Max Philpott fan club near us. We heard a big roar when that one went through. The former Kenley and Essendon Grammar School boy, like myself. And this has been a rout in this second quarter. They've kicked 7 goals to 1, Williamstown, and so mightily impressive.
He's gone back to play for Pegs locally as well this year. He's also played for Maribyrnong Park, but he's gone back to play for the Pegs locally, and I'm sure they'll be happy to have him when he's not running around in the blue and gold.
100%. If you can get a VFL player playing for your team, certainly works. And cut it down by Conway. And Werribee just cannot get it moving at the moment. Anytime they sort of get clean possession, there's a seagull on them, like a seagull to a chip at the beach. That's a great tackle. Toner stripped of it, and now Werribee can get that clean possession. Brew finds a Jung with those Larry orange boots. I love them. Short kick finds Pinnock. So Louis Pinnock has a lot of players in front of him, most of the players on the ground. He just wheels inside the attacking 50, and Downey, right at the bottom of it, takes the intercept mark.
So Tom Downey, the former Giants, of course. Played 7 games at AFL level for them. Sends one long, left-footed, towards the wing. Not able to take the mark. Fordham doing the roving. Shrugs off one, gives the handball out wide. McHale was on the overlap. McHale goes left-footed, looking for the searing ball towards right half forward, taking it on is Rich, who looks to send it up towards the goal line. Coleman looking to get his way out the back, free kick for a push. And the ball will be coming back to Riley Bice of Werribee. And they've got to try and manage this at the end of the second term with over 31 minutes gone. There can't be too long left. And with this game almost gone, Werribee can't afford to concede another. Chipping ball found the chest of Louis Pinnock, who just about marked inside the field of play. And Werribee's number 9 will be called to play on. Down the line he goes. Park's best place, and he took a wonderful mark straight to the mitts, and they stuck to him.
Brilliant mark, and Luke Parks will go with the switch into the middle of DSV Stadium, and it's Greiser. Kick to half forward is good. Finds Darby Henderson, one of the inclusions this week. Short kick, not great. The spoil came from Riley Bice. Toner gets the kick away. Rich tackled, stripped of it, gone. Can Werribee get it up the other end quickly?
Kai de Claes it was in the number 3 who run him down, and he chips it short towards left half back. Now riding, slightly defensive side of the wing for Werribee. And he's in no rush to send this one forward. Looks short for Riley Bice. Didn't go the 15. He will return it back to Riding. He will send it down the line up towards Conway. And Johnson! Fly across the front, that'll be paid. It's a great grab from Luke Parks, who has been exceptional in this one. That's a postage stamp moment. He goes short to the chest of Mitch Cox, who played on. Or did he? It looked like he was off straight away. And he might well have been saved by the whistle. That's been given 50.
It has.
That is incredibly harsh, I reckon.
It looked like he played on.
It looks as though he was playing on. Got caught cold, but it's gone the other way. And again, we always trust the umpires. They do a wonderful job, and a job that I can't do, but I reckon I would have made a different decision.
Yeah, 100%. It's gone with a barrel.
Has that got the trip? I reckon it has got the trip, you know.
Wow.
That's gone about 100 metres. Ridiculous.
I'm a little stunned.
Mitch Cox, you cannot do that. We've seen him do some incredible things.
That was a remarkable kick.
It's hard to find words to put to that. Mitch Cox, that is incredible. That's gone about, I reckon that's gone all of 85, 90 metres.
He was in the second, he was halfway between the centre circle and the edge of the square, and he launched that.
I'm in disbelief. I'm in disbelief.
I think we're both hard of words here and short of words here, and that was unbelievable. The bounce taken back. We're going to try and compose ourselves to finish off this quarter, which is nearly gone 35 minutes. We did have a little bit of a stoppage as Fordham runs out of the middle, and now they can move it inside through Riley Collier-Dawkins. Have another shot here. It's Noah Gadsby this time. Let's see if we can get another barrel. He'll back himself in. Riley Collier-Dawkins wanted it. All the more, the margin is 47 points. Mitch Cox has 3 goals, all of which have come in this quarter. And Noah Gadsby is going to kick this one on the siren. So we had a huge launch for the last goal. Can we get another big one? The wind will favour Noah Gadsby. He went for it. He's used the wind to perfection. Did it get there? It did! The Seagulls have another. It's a whopping 53 points at halftime, and they are launching from everywhere. Ollie Walker.
As we get underway for the third term, Downey over the top. Werribee really need a clearance and then some. Holding free kick.
Oh no.
That won't help the cause. Fordham will chip out wide, looking for Philpott, who will mark on the broadcast side. Has Greiser for company on the overlap if he wants. He doesn't. And will load long instead, right-footed. And it fell into the breadbasket of Jovan Petrick, who led at the ball. And the Werribee pain gets even worse at the start of this third term.
Well, he's one of the few that hasn't kicked a goal. They've had 9 individual goal kickers, the Seagulls.
3 goals, 3 so far this year. Made his VFL debut against Werribee last year for Collingwood in the one VFL game he played for them. Now in his 5th in the blue and gold of Williamstown. Looking for his first of the day. And that will be coming back. Comes back too far. Big fly in the goal square. On the line trying to get it through was Rich. Corey Ellison flew over about 7 to try and pull that down and didn't reel it in.
That would have been one of the marks of the season. I was lucky enough to be calling Finbar Mayleys last week.
That would have topped them all.
Yep.
Even Willis's last week, which was exceptional.
De Claes got the handball, and he was hot there, Pinnock. And Cam Paulson just he laid the elbow in for good measure there. So we mustn't forget there was a massive all-in brawl right on the half-time siren, and there is still a lot of spite out here at the moment, and Cam Paulson went right after his opponent then. So the lead, 54 points and even 9 goals. We've seen big comebacks before, but the way that Williamstown are playing, it doesn't look like that'll come. Hicks got the handball away. Philpott with a nice tackle. Again, we're going nowhere here at DSV Stadium, which is buzzing at the moment. Walking around, the kids are having a lot of fun, having a kick, and there's DeClace. The quick kick came out. Greaser's there. He's going to be met strongly by Grintel, and we're going to get another ball in.
So, the margin at 54. This is an all too similar story for Werribee. If you remember last year, they were on the right side of it, but they absolutely hammered Williamstown when they were on a run. 83-point winners that day. In fact, make it 93 as Fordham with the handball over the top, intercepted by Henderson, gave the handball across for Hicks, who looks to send it inside 50. Bobbling ball, Williamstown have got to be good, and they are. McHale, handball out wide, looking to run around was Stoddart. Chipping ball up, Coleman once then twice, wanted to claim the mark and wasn't paid it. He then goes in again. As the Seagulls emerge with the ball, handball over the top, looking for Minton Connell, who tried to run on, handball further on. Werribee back with it, defensive side of the wing, turning around as he feigned to play was Hicks, into the middle for Conway, who will give the handball off short, and it's fired out wide for Bice, who stopped and propped and gave it one on for Riding, on the wing, fires it inside 50, not a great ball, chopped off by Tom Downey, which is not the play you want to be kicking to.
Certainly not in the hole anyway. Ridge takes the mark at half back for Williamstown. This could be a glorious day for their season. Looking like it is getting that way. The sun makes a peak as well. First time we've seen the sun this afternoon. Petrick flies, can't take the mark and spills out of play. So Werribee, I think they'll want to just show a little bit of fight. 1 goal in the second quarter and conceding 9 was certainly not what they'd ordered, but they'll be desperate to just make a good account of themselves and get some respectability back into this scoreline. Williamstown, they're going to try and pile it on. As we get another stoppage. Wind picking up just that little bit more, so Werribee might be able to gain some momentum through that, who knows. And again, we get a stoppage, so I'm going to hand it back to Ollie and see if he can fix things for me.
So, on the near side wing, that's where we're calling from. One down by Downey towards the boundary line. And we'll get a repeat stoppage, so Werribee fans, if there's any still left watching this, would not be happy with what they've seen so far. A 9-goal margin and even 54 points. It's thrown back in, Conway playing in front. And as far as Fordham, Cox stepping through, he gave it away. Riding had the handball intention, or the reception intention rather, and that was intercepted too.
For about the last minute, the ball's been in the same spot.
And it's still there. Conway tapping it down for Hicks. He was ragdolled by a couple wearing the blue and gold, including Riley Collier-Dawkins. Throw it once more. This is really scrappy. Here's Fordham, he usually provides poise, looking to break away from Henderson, did it just about, handball short to his former Frankston mate in Cox, Brew ripped it away, kicked down the line, towards the direction of Johnson, and that's out of bounds on the full as he nearly gets catapulted over the fence.
So we did get that quick kick away and we are in a different spot, but we are still on the wing. So Williamstown, kick forward, back to where the ball pretty much has been for the last 5 minutes. I'm going to DeClace, got the kick out and it's a nice mark down there by Stoddart. The former Sydney Swan and Frankston Dolphin, a couple of former Dolphins out there today.
There's a number, the amount of times I've said a former Frankston player has been a lot. More than you'd think for a game not involving Frankston.
And that kick is, well, that's not good. And that's going straight out of play. And Kai DeClace one of the stalwarts, and this Werribee team has played together for so long. They can keep going. Brew on the left. What can they brew? Goes over the head of everybody, and we're going to get a throw in inside the Werribee forward 50. The inside 50 count has been the bizarre one here, Ollie. We're at 27 apiece, and they're 54 points down.
Remarkable stuff. Sometimes the stats do lie. Johnson playing in front. Handball out wide. De Clay's looking to get there. He fought through. Kai De Clay's was wonderful stuff. Kick was smothered. And Williamstown will repel. Clearing ball. Bounced in front of Conway. Ellison tried to take him to the basket and was slapped away from him. Philpott on the outer side. Ellison looking to make an impact. And has he won a free kick for holding the ball? He has. So he provided the tackle over the top. And it was Wardell Lowell who was adjudged to have dragged it in. And so Corey Ellison, defensive side of the wing for the Seagulls, will send it down the line, primed for a flyer or two. Cooper went up, couldn't take it down. Andrews, who was involved in so much of the scuffling early on, sees it over the boundary line.
So, which team can take that step in this quarter? Williamstown doing enough to defend and just hold on. The longer that Werribee go without a goal, the better for Williamstown, that's for sure. Ball comes through. It was really well done, and they can continue to move it forward. Here's Fordham right through the centre of DSV Stadium. Was looking to play on, doesn't need to. Finds Cox. I don't think he's going to be having shots from there. Well, he dropped the mark. The handball was clever to Darby Henderson. Only went as far as Hicks. And now they can force it out. Brew kicks it as long and as high as possible. It goes over the head of Parks, but he's got a lot of time. Johnson's going to keep him company, but he gets the kick away to Stoddart. Stoddard's last kick went right out on the full on this wing, but he's got Collier Dawkins, who's had a pretty good game so far. This is disposal number 18 coming up. Called to move on by the umpire. Kicks long and high and up the wing. Ellison flew, not paid the mark. And again, that's going nowhere, so we'll get a stoppage on the near side wing here at DSV Stadium. Williamstown 12-4, 76. Werribee 3-4, 22. Williamstown with a 9-goal second quarter if you've just joined us. And no goals scored as of yet this term, so Williamstown's defence just holding up nicely.
Worth a mention too, if you're just joining us, Finbar O'Dwyer, we've not seen for a while. He was down inside Williamstown defensive 50 in the second term. We've not seen him since, so we hope that he's okay. Philpott bounced into his lap, sent it long up towards half forward. Petrick playing in front, beautifully rowed by Fordham. Handball over the top for Darby Henderson, who will dribble one, vacant goal square. Ellison was trying to reel it in and couldn't get there with Jesse Clark hot on his hammer. Through for a behind.
It was clever, but now they go out through Lual. What can he do? Wardell Lual, he's quick and he's exciting. Called to go long by Kai De Clace, and then he switches. So Clark finds Pinnock. Just at a loss for what to do at the moment, the Tigers. Not really sure where to go. The kick long up the wing, and that's a strong mark by Dalhouse. Just forward of centre. He'll go long as well. Inside the attacking 50. There was a push out there by Garoni. Bounced out of play, so we'll get it tossed in. Right around the corner from the Tigers' goal. Can they draw first blood in this third quarter and in this second half and give themselves something to go with? Downey got it down, and that's going nowhere.
So another stoppage. Side forward 50, one down by Downey, who roved his own work and sent it out of bounds on the full. So Louis Pinnock in game 91 at VFL level. Approaching the 100 later in the year. He'll get that up, all things being well. Sends it long towards the top of the square. Williamstown should send away. A bit fumbly though. Handball back for Andrews, who got the handball away again. Malawal with a nice pirouette. And found Bice just outside attacking 50 at left half forward.
Well, this is a shot I think he's got to take. This is where Noah Gadsby kicked the goal from, right on the half-time siren.
The mark's at about 51. So we'll kick from a few metres back of that, Riley Bice. Only the one goal in his career. And it's sent long and wide.
Looked very good off the boot.
One goal in his season, I should say, 2 in his career, but not adding to it there.
Looked nice off the boot, but that's another score for the Werribee Tigers. They're still 53 or 54 behind, so still lost this quarter by 1 point, and they've had the win. So this has been a really exemplary display from the Seagulls as that goes out of play once more.
Former Giant Riley Bice at VFL level.
Yep.
Played 3 games there in 2022.
17 disposals and 4 clearances last week in their loss to GWS. It's a game that they really thought they should have won. Comes out to Hicks. Here's Brew. A penetrating left foot, long inside the 50 and punched out of play. 11 and a half gone. No goals kicked in this third quarter after we had 10 of them in the second. We were spoiled for choice, and now feels like there's a bit of a lull in this game, but that's something that Williamstown will find very welcoming, considering their hefty lead. Andrews can't quite trap it. This time he gets the kick away. It is high. Don't know if it managed to get 15. It did, and Tom Downey says thank you very much. So he takes the mark in the back pocket. He's just surveying his options. Nobody seeming to really be doing any running for him, so he's going to have to go long, and he does so. Big fly comes from Petrick and punched out of play once more.
So just under 12 and a half gone, third term. Williamstown having it all their own way in this battle of 2 proud standalone clubs.
Battle of the Ruckman, 29 hit-outs to Downey, 28 to Conway.
Conway just 1 centimetre taller, 204 to 203 as Triffitt looks to find his way through. Found Philpott, who will send up towards the wing in the Ellison direction, almost reeled it in. Bice is there, who's tackled then by Ellison. We've got a formation of planes flying over the top then.
Might have come from the MCG maybe.
As it's sent long from Preston inside 50. Not a welcome return to DSV Stadium for him, and it's chopped off by Riley Stoddart. It will play on, left-footed up towards the wing. Flying across the front, Pinnock not able to take the mark. Petrich too hot for him to handle. Lual goes in board. Henderson. Chip inside, or up to 50, was from Matt Keast. As Williamstown will try and repel here. Ajang putting the pressure on, but Williamstown good to evade it for now, but a good spoil towards the boundary line from Jack Henderson to get in the way of Riley Collier-Dawkins, who was about to reel it in.
That boundary line is getting a lot of action in this quarter. We've had so many throw-ins and stoppages right near it. So, Williamstown defence, they have been so strong in this quarter. Each and every one of them managing to repel everything. Werribee, again, have had more inside 50s in this game. They've had 34 to 29. We're down by 1 at the start of the quarter. And we'll get it tossed in once more, but the defensive line of Williamstown really showing them up. And how much does the loss of Sean Manor hurt them after last season? They're sitting third, but imagine if he was in this lineup. Ollie, what does it do for them as Hicks gets the kick inside the 50? Williamstown doing enough, and it's going to be a free kick going the way of McHale.
And he's one of a number, of course. Sam Cloesy as well, doing wonderful work for Gold Coast.
Yep.
You've got your Hansons, your Sotomarcos who've all gone. So it's not just Manor, as good as Manor was, and Manor was absolutely exceptional for them last year, and he fully earned his crack at AFL level, but it's not just him that they've lost. As McHale goes down the line in the Ellison direction, Cooper went up with him. That ball won't be coming out of there.
So you might be able to see the planes in the background there, flying high up in the sky in the formation for Anzac Day.
Play goes on, inside 50 for Werribee. Ball at ground level, and Williamstown had the numbers. It's sent away towards Henderson, who on the slide will take it. Got them going quickly, might have been to their detriment. Fitzgerald went back, Greiser to the wing. Good ball for Corey Rich, who marks.
Rich, who's kicked a goal today. One of the club stalwarts here, 27 years of age. Kicks high and long along the line. The Whale couldn't quite take the mark. And that comes to Henderson, who handballs to the boundary umpire, who will toss it back in. Rucks nominate. Be Johnson up against Petrick. And that throw in almost beats them all. Petrick got the hand to it. Comes down to Preston, but he can't quite trap it. Another ball up, so every player that's having to play in the ruck today getting a little workout in this quarter, having to follow things around. Johnson got the hit out, and then Toner taken very high. Umpire said no. I thought he got him over the head there, Ollie, but must be a free kick there. It is, and that's going to go to Werribee. I'm not sure why they didn't pay the advantage, but the Tigers will take it anyway. Johnson, he's just going to wheel around and go as high and long as he can. The fly comes, and it is a brilliant grab from Luke Parks, who's been doing it all day.
He has. He goes short with a kick to Triffitt. As the number neighbours combine, Werribee with a player down off the ball, and there'll be a free kick. Corey Preston was dumped well off the ball on the edge of left half forward for Werribee when the ball was in Williamstown's hands inside the defensive 50. It's now with Harry Grintel. A couple of Werribee staff just checking on the well-being of Corey Preston. Meanwhile, Grintel on a 45-degree angle or thereabouts will kick from just outside 50. Right-footed, gives it a look, and misses. Is lucky to score.
So this is after what was such an exciting second term. Gone 18 minutes in this third quarter. No goals yet, Ollie.
And as you said before, Val, Williamstown won't mind that one bit.
They're happy. They're keeping it along the boundary line, although that might be too close. It does just stay in. Just trying to keep an eye on Corey Preston. I think, not sure if he went off or not, but might be okay. Toss back in. Johnson and Petrick go at it again. That kick from Hicks is good. Cooper White had numbers inside 50. Switches play. Riding. Takes it for a run. Kicks towards goal. Can they get the first of the quarter? You bet they can. He's riding high. He's kicked two.
That was wonderful, though, from Jack Riding.
Yeah.
It's been a poor day for Werribee, but took the mark, didn't break stride, and slotted it. 47 back. Too far back.
You'd think so. With the wind against them in the last quarter, you feel as though they had to do more in this third, and also the second quarter. That was the backbreaker. Conceding 9 goals in that term definitely wasn't what the doctor ordered for the Tigers, but they want to get some respectability on the scoreboard, and that's the right way to go about it. Riding really taking the game into his own hands there. Nice finish.
So back in the middle again. And we've seen that a number of times today.
What do you think of the bounce? Are we keeping it?
I wouldn't on a day like this. Or in general, I wouldn't think. Fordham. And ball across. I think the sentiment I hear off a lot of people is you do a ceremonial one to start the quarter, and then you get rid of it, and I think I'm tending to side towards that now.
I would be okay with that, because I love the sentiment of it. I like being able, the grand final, that thud that you hear when the ball goes down.
Yeah. Again, I'm not a decision maker in that part, so we'll just leave it to the people who are. But it's an interesting one. I can see both sides. As Rich hands it back to the umpire. Downey punches it out of the rock. Werribee now look to get things going through Brew. Handball across for Bice, who look to burn away from Gadsby. Handball short towards the 50. Big pack of players over the top of the ball. Triffitt's over the top of it watching on as Minton Connell couldn't burst clear. And we'll have yet another stoppage. It's been stoppage heavy.
Certainly has been in this third quarter. Really interesting term of footy. Downey, an inside-out banana, works out quite nicely as Corey Allison takes the mark. Short pass for him. Finds another Corey in the form of Rich. So, just stopping and propping. I feel like he's going to have to go long here. Wheels around on the right, keeps it along the boundary line, but that's a good hold. And a nice mark by Pinnock. Surveys his own options. He's had quite a good term, actually, Pinnock. A couple of intercept marks. The kick really put his teammate under pressure in Grintel. And now Minton Connell back to Corey Rich. Henderson took riding on, kicked inside the 50, and it was a good grab. A really strong grab from Allison. Took one on the way down as well. And this has been, for the margin of 47 points, it's been a spiteful game as well. Had a Corey kick a pretty good goal from this pocket in the opening term. That was Corey Rich. What can Corey Allison do? The wind will be going against him. He will need to start this out far right and bring it back.
This is a better angle than what Rich had to deal with earlier on in the game as well.
So let's see what he does. Far right, bend it back. Started it out left and it stayed there, but the pack flies. And a good mark from Johnson.
Just got to listen to Val Febo, that's what you've got to do. He clears offensive 50. Off hands, McHale sends it back in. As it swirls in the wind. Fisted away, Brew with a pirouette. Broke off a couple. Palmed off Coleman, Iron Brew. Ball up towards the 50. Bouncing ball. Werribee with numbers, handball short to DeClace. Vacant goal square. And he fluffed his lines out of bounds on the full. How good was that from Don Brew?
Unreal.
Bounced off Blake Coleman as if he wasn't there.
Unreal. Amazing football as Williamstown can repel once more. The fact that they've only conceded one goal in this quarter and the wind is firmly against them, plus the opening term where they only dropped 2, I think that's a huge win, and that's something that the coaching staff will be so thrilled with. And Justin Platt, I think when they look at the review later on, I think he's going to be thrilled. That one stays in just, and Tom Downey takes the mark.
You're cursing your luck, sorry. If you're Werribee, the ball stays in play, and the player there to mark is Tom Downey, one of the biggest players on the ground. You're just cursing your luck.
What is he, 203 centimetres?
Yep.
But they're just keeping it along the line here. That one, it stayed in as well. Corey Rich takes the mark, pulls the kick. That's to Rich. Here's Fordham. Goes in for goal. Sorry, it was Mitch Cox who took the mark. I apologise.
As Pinnock plays on. Goes straight up the middle towards Riding, who was ridden. That was almost a wonderful sit from Noah Gadsby. My goodness me. He sat up there and couldn't quite get the exact sit that he needed.
Well called by you though, Ollie.
Thrown up. One down by Conway. And that will be a stoppage.
I feel like we're going to get a very long quarter here.
Well, we had one in the last term that went about 35 minutes as Riding fumbled, Fordham to mop up the mess, looking to charge through.
It wasn't because of stoppages though, it was because of the Finn O'Dwyer injury, but then we also had 10 goals kicked, but there's been a hell of a lot of stoppages in this term.
Looking to palm on there was Cooper White. Brew trying to get away from a couple. Got the handball away to Henderson. There's Andrews on his coattails. Bounces the ball at the back of the congestion, then goes for a second one. Right-footed ball up towards right half forward. Johnson's there playing in front. He was worried out of it and then clashed straight into a Seagull who is in underneath it all. And well, there've been Minton Connell in the vicinity. And we'll have yet another stoppage.
Tossed up. Downey got it down, and Andrews trying to show some fight. Runs around a couple, goes to the pocket. Can he finish? Kick it out on the full. It was exciting, the build-up, but the execution not so much. So Williamstown, what they've been doing this quarter, they've kept it to the near side and kept it close to the boundary line. They know how to utilise these conditions so well, the Seagulls, and they kick it along the wing of the near side. Conway will fly and he'll bring it down beautifully. So now they can go inside once again, Werribee. They haven't actually conceded a goal in this quarter, which I think they'll consider a win. He'll give it to Brew. Kicks inside the 50, and the mark spilled by Hudson Garoni, who has not had a fun day.
Maybe a look at his stats would not be one that he would want, but it might contextualise things. He's someone we really haven't seen a lot of as Val gets to work on that. We'll get the stats in a moment. Play goes on. A couple of shots for holding the ball, nothing doing as Minton Connell tried to charge through.
8 disposals for Hudson Garoni.
Feels like he's had less than that.
Yeah, 3 marks, 1 tackle. There's been a lot of players who have had less.
Thrown up as we try to break free of the congestion. Brew and Johnson team up to lay a tackle. So just under 27 gone third term. The result beyond doubt. Downey, palms down, riding, looking to get there ahead of Collier Dawkins. The umpire will circle and we'll just cross the arm and say, yeah, we'll have that. And we'll throw it up in the pocket.
So, Werribee trying with all their might. Well, it wasn't a long quarter like we thought. The quarter is over. Siren goes at 27.5 minutes. And just the 1 goal kick from it. It went to the Werribee Tigers thanks to Jack Riding with a brilliant individual effort. Williamstown, they'd be happy with that. To the left of screen with the
work illegally, holding his man off the ball. Handball short from Brew after a receive from Grintail. Kick inside 50, Garoni had it spoiled away from him. Philpott was wrapped up in a tackle. Good work by Riding, who's done some nice things on a poor day for his team.
So has Don Brew, actually.
Yep.
18 disposals, equal leader on the ground with Riley Collier-Dawkins.
But you're not surprised by that, given how good Don Brew is. Quick kick in towards the middle, spoiled away by Gadsby. Quick snap from Hicks, looking for his second, and has got it. Couple of really nice goals for Angus Hicks. And he's a multiple goal kicker today for Werribee. It's their 5th of the day, and Angus Hicks showing signs on what has been a down day for the Tigers.
If I told you that Werribee were the only team that had kicked a goal in the second half, you wouldn't believe me looking at the scoreline. But that's exactly what's happened so far. 2 goals for them so far this half, and the margin still at 42. Dark day for the Tigers, who will just want to try and get themselves some respectability back, as we've been saying. But a brilliant finish from Hicks, who's 2 goals, 16 disposals. He's had a pretty good day. Downey did really well. The 2 ruckmen have been getting the clearances so far. It goes over everybody's head and will go inside 50 for the Seagulls, who venture forward for the first time in this final term. Punched away. Getting there, Jack Toner goes to Gadsby. Kicked a really nice goal from about that spot before on the set shot. Kick punched away and goes out of play for a throw in, and the Seagulls will try and reload from there. Leading by 42 points. Nearly 2 minutes gone in the final quarter. Toss back in. Quick kick away. Comes towards the wing. Was that a mark? Not paid there to Minton Connell. Falls to the bottom of the pack and we'll get a ball up. Almost. We'll get a ball up in the centre circle.
One of the quirks about this ground is that that's often there, and it's there again. Fordham looking to break free of De Clace. Got the handball away for McHale to chase. Sends inside 50 towards the hot spot. The Flyers come, gets over heads of all of them. Bice back there, he's wrapped up. Umpires watching on, ball breaks free. Werribee needing to stand tall, and to this point have done that. Ebbinger lays the tackle, and we'll get it thrown up. So another stoppage. Inside forward 50 for Williamstown. Looking to answer back the recent Hicks goal. Over the top went Ellison. Whistle and a free kick. And they'll get the chance to answer this one back through Corey Ellison.
Hasn't kicked one today yet.
The one behind. Played game 50 last week. It's his 50th since 2021 today. So 50th after the pandemic, after one before for Frankston. As some fans are mesmerised by the planes above. And I don't think anyone's mesmerised by that kick from Corey Ellison, who misses to the near side for a behind.
So Williamstown still goalless in this second half. Ellison would have liked to have kicked that, but nonetheless, I can move it out here, Werribee. De Clace to his number neighbour in Andrews. Andrews not really sure where to go, so kicks along the wing looking for Conway. Johnson came and affected the spoil and crunched Parks. Umpire, very delayed whistle there. Probably should have blown that a lot quicker, but Luke Parks will take it.
Of course, Daly Andrews, a former Seagull himself, so that's a lot of where the ire has come from today.
Yep.
As Parks sends it down the line towards the direction of Andrews. Gets out the back. And Ebbinger wrapped up. Daly Andrews,
crossed in the off-season.
12 appearances last year for Williamstown, 6 goals, 2. Not been a great return for him, nor Preston. As Andrews looks to go back and find it, he was worried out of it. Handball short found De Clace. Brew. Johnson will elect to go by foot to the wing. Conway had it spoiled away by Parks. This is a grapple for the ball. Strong tackle laid by Werribee's number 24 in Jay Dalhouse. And another ball up in the centre circle that isn't the centre circle.
The wing centre circle.
The wing circle, there we go.
Yeah. High. Paid to Johnson. And now Brew on the left. He's been so clinical with that left boot today. Can Conway fly? He gets a punch in. Here is Dalhouse. He's going to wheel around and go towards goal. Vacant goal square, but the pack does form. And guess who? It's Luke Parks. Another intercept mark for him. Been absolutely brilliant today as Riley Stoddard has it in the back pocket. So I think Werribee will keep this as a win. If they can keep Williamstown without kicking a goal in this quarter, which there's a long way to go. A long way. Here's Fordham. He's tackled. He's in a bit of trouble. Slung around and he's been pinged. That's brilliant defensive effort. And guess who? It's Riding. He's kicked 2 today, Ollie. Looking for number 3.
Thing is, I don't think he's seen a lot of the ball either, which we'll get the clarification on that in a minute. But when he has had it, he's done a lot right.
This will be disposal 14. But a third goal on a day where his team, if he kicks it, would have only kicked 6. Very impressive. Comes in. And misses across the face. So still 2 goals to Jack Riding today. Kicked it out on the full, actually.
Kick went short as Fordham will mark off the kick from Paulson as they get going. Do Williamstown up towards right half forward. Rich has a run on the outer side. It's Philpott who will send it long to the pocket in the direction of Corey Ellison. You just knew when the ball was in his direction, he was going to make something work to mark it. And he'll go around the corner here. He missed a chance from the opposite pocket earlier in the quarter. And maybe a reverse sighter there to help him here. 2 behinds on the day for Corey Ellison. And that one, I'm sure he won't mind me saying, is even worse than his earlier effort in the quarter. That's out of bounds on the full.
It's a couple of out on the falls in a row. And after all of the excitement in that second quarter, it's been a bit of a lull. Just 2 goals kicked in this second half. That had to be a push, nothing coming of it. And running around here for Williamstown was Gatsby. Greiser. Kick not great. Daly Andrews runs around Max Philpott. Takes a bounce. He's taken a few of those today. Runs on the left inside the 50 and finds Grintel. Plays on. Wheels around. It's almost like he wanted to hit Gatsby out on the lead. And pretty much just sums up the day for the Tigers. And in front of the WL Floyd Pavilion out there. Parks again. It's been one of Williamstown's best today. Kicks long up the wing. No one's coming out of that. Cooper White wrapped up and brought to ground.
So we are staring at a 43-point margin in favour of the Seagulls. Thrown up again. Downey out of the ruck. Tackled by Johnson. Umpire crosses the arms. Be back-to-back losses for last year's grand finalists. As Downey won it down again. Ball to the outer side. Philpott goes back to find Collier Dawkins, who will send the ball inside 50. No mark as the Smalls get to work. Henderson. Quick kick towards Ellison, who will be...
Free kick.
Will be not paid the mark. Will be adjudged to have impeded Riley Bice, who goes across the face of goal to the right back pocket for Werribee. Clearing kick towards Malual, sweeping across the front and taking a nice one, Cam Paulson.
The former Blue takes on Malual and does really well. He might want to take a bounce soon. He does. They almost got him into trouble. Finds Toner. Plays on. And that is paid 15. Darby Henderson will go back and try and kick Williamstown's first goal of the second half. Hasn't kicked one yet today. He's kicked it behind. 25 years of age, Darby Henderson. Been around Williamstown for quite a while now. To the end where they kicked 9 in the second quarter. Started it out too far to the left and it drifted even further left. 2 behinds for Darby Henderson. Margin out to 44.
Bice up the middle, looking for DeClace over his head and coming across Blake Coleman to intercept. And if that doesn't sum up Werribee's day, I don't know what does. Blake Coleman looking for his second of the day. Kicked a nice one down to the other end earlier in the day. Straight out in front. Full kick from right on 50, if not just outside. Right-footed ball. And that is absolutely wonderful. Straight as an arrow from Blake Coleman, who extends the margin here at DSV to an even 50 points.
Much needed. Not really in a margin sense, but just for a confidence sense. They haven't kicked one at all this second half, and I think Williamstown will enjoy that one. Werribee have done a lot of hard work to try and negate their scoring, which they have done since that debacle of a second term, but the Seagulls, they want to keep on piling on the points and try and get their percentage even higher than what it already is. Currently sitting at 110.5. That'll rise astronomically. Werribee's at 125.8. That'll take a significant hit.
When it's all said and done, they'll be about close, I reckon.
I think so. Free kick coming, I think, or are we recalling the bounce? It's going to go to Williamstown, so they can send it in pretty quickly. Jack Toner is going to be the beneficiary. And who's he found? So this is from, well, Wolf Fordham's got it. This is from the Mitch Cox area. He's not going to go for the big barrel. He'll kick inside the 50. Mark can't be taken. Corey Allison does manage to get it away. Kicks towards goal. It drifts towards the goal square and touched over the line.
I'd love to have access to a tape measure and work out how long that goal was from Cox as Pinnock plays on from full back. Good kick clearing defensive 50 for Henderson. Left half back. Chips one further on. Williamstown now having to watch as Werribee move it up the far side wing. Kick goes down the line towards Garoni. Flyers Combe, no one able to take it. Ball at half back for Williamstown, who work it via hands. Kick towards this near side. There's touch play on. Call from the umpire. Rich then went short to Henderson, who played on. Kick towards the 50. Fordham running after it. Won't get there. Here's Lual. Gives the handball across, and again, Werribee to link up via hands. Riding. Takes the mark. Moves in field as he played on. Chipping ball in board. Didn't go the 15 for Henderson, who then moves it wider. Handball over the top. Looking for one of Brew or Andrews. It's the latter. Andrews then chips forward. Werribee looking for the inside 50 entry, and Brew takes a very nice mark. Against the wind, but would probably be on his range if he fancied it. He didn't, pulled it short, and maybe should have gone longer.
This has been a frustrating day for the Tigers. One that I think they'll definitely want to have back if they had the chance, but
unfortunately that's not how it works.
No. Tossed in. And we're going to have another ball up. Petrick doing the ruck work for the Seagulls at the moment. And Downey takes a rest. He got it down too. Here's Fordham. Gets the kick away. Henderson tries to punch it away. Brown also there. Not coming out at all. So Daly Andrews with his welcome back to the club. Certainly hasn't been fun for him, and same with Corey Preston. Neither of them have enjoyed their welcome home to DSV Stadium, or their former home. High tackle, and it's going to go the way of the Seagulls. Jack riding the offender. McHale. It's been all right today. Has a teammate. It's a nice kick. Finds Fitzgerald, the former Bomber. Pinpoint pass is good. Brown goes long towards the attacking 50. It's good. Can Allison finally get one? He can. Two behinds and out on the full, and finally Corey Allison salutes with a major.
That's what he does best though, Corey Allison. Great body work. Did the hard work early, and then it was a really nice finish to put through for Williamstown's 14th. Been a long day for Werribee, and we harp on the point, but that's not to detract from how good that Williamstown have been. They've made Werribee look incredibly inferior today.
Well, realistically, if you take away that second quarter where Werribee were completely and utterly outclassed, they're only down by about 8 or 9 points.
Yeah, but again, the game was over by that point, though.
That's true.
It's been tightly fought, but it's well over as DeClace looks to burst through. Right-footed towards a Jang who's furthest forward. What a mark that is by Fitzgerald overhead. And the Williamstown fans appreciate it. Goes short to the back pocket for Parks, who will go down the line. Big pack of players there, no one able to take it. DeClace will mop up at the back of the pack. Sends up to the 50. And there he is again, Luke Parks. Ball almost like a magnet to him inside defensive 50. Here's Cox, who sends another ball long. How long's that gone? Might get out the back. Skips on. Ellison looking to get there. That one almost went longer than his goal. remarkable. Chipping ball short, unable to reel it in there. For Werribee was Corey Preston on his return. Ellison sidesteps one from outside 50, looks to chip it up. Bice comes across with a spoil. Brown, quick snap on goal is close. And the right side of the post from a Williamstown point of view. And it's a second for Brown.
And a 12th individual goal scorer for Williamstown.
Oh no, it was Brown with the assist earlier on, I apologise. So Brown has got one, that's his first.
Yes. Unbelievable.
It was Brown with a wonderful assist earlier on.
Unbelievable. And the sun comes out as well to shine on Williamstown's day. They've been absolutely wonderful. 99-36, margin at 63. They'll be thrilled with this. I don't think many of the Seagulls fans coming today thought that they would win by this much. They were optimistic, that's for sure. Push paid. It's going to go the way of the Tigers. De Clace inside 50. Fitzgerald can't take the mark, but got the body work in and got the fist away. Coleman manages to get the handball off to Stoddart. They can continue to move it out. Paulson almost wrapped up by a couple, managed to avoid them all. Coleman came through well. That one's not coming out. Triffitt wrapped up at half back for Williamstown. 15-9 to 5-6. Massive disparity in the scoring and scoring shots in this game. Here is De Clace. Strong use of the body. Runs inside the 50. Kicks to the hot spot, and that is a lovely mark taken by Hudson Garoni. Hasn't had a fun day at the office in any way, shape or form. This would be a nice little confidence booster if he could get it.
And his career high in goals last time these two played. Kicked 6 goals, 1. Not quite that day today for him.
No. What was it, a 93-point win last time out?
Mm-hmm.
Hudson Garoni. That'll do. Kicks his first. Werribee have their 6th. Margin down to 57. The Seagulls just coasting home at the moment. 20 minutes gone, final term.
And we said it a little bit earlier on off air. Fair play to the Werribee fans that have stuck around. There are a few of them where there was muted applause as that one went through from Garoni, but there are still a few here, and you wouldn't have begrudged them in any way, shape or form when they're headed for the exit door, but there's a few who have braved the cold and stuck it out. They won't get to sing the song at full time though, that's for sure. So Williamstown on the verge of raising the bat on 99 points as Downey won it down. Coleman on for Fordham, who should send Williamstown inside 50. And it's a good kick to a good lead, and as hard as Cooper White tried, he couldn't prevent the mark inside 50. And Mitch Cox, who has already wowed us today, will get the chance for Williamstown to raise the bat here.
This distance will be no problem.
If you're just joining us, we try and measure it.
He kicked one from about where he's standing, maybe a little bit further
Probably
back.
further out. So he'll kick this one from just inside the paint of 50 here, Mitch Cox. He's had a wonderful day. 3 goals, 1. Shooting for his 4th. Spiralling ball offline, and Petrick tried to take the mark but couldn't quite. It's 100 points for Williamstown and a 58-point margin.
So next week, the Seagulls, they take on Casey at Casey Fields on Sunday afternoon. The Tigers at Avalon Airport Oval, they've got the Blues. That should be an exciting contest. The spoil comes and Philpott gets the handball away. Toner gets it to Brown. Brown finds Rich, back to Tono, spins out of trouble. It's perfection. And Collier Dawkins is on the end of a beautiful passage of play.
Yeah, you made the call earlier that Williamstown were playing some champagne football. Well, that is about as champagne as it gets.
Yep, it is. It's been a few goals kicked from this exact spot today, and Collier Dawkins, who's already kicked one on a successful afternoon for him. Bit of a quieter second half. That Line just drifts across the face. So 1-1 for Riley Collier-Dawkins today.
And what we've learnt is there's only room enough for 2 digits on the scoreboard for Williamstown. It's 10 and a full stop, and they're on 101 as Toner slides in. Umpire circling as DeClace was over the top of him. And the umpire will move in and ball this one up. So, yeah, 15-11, 10 full stop is their score according to the scoreboard.
So Werribee are in front.
Yeah, 32-point lead for Werribee. Oh, if only that was the case. Johnson, well, at least for their fans, that anyway. That's nowhere near the truth. Ajang looked to receive, couldn't quite. Greiser in the road. Fitzgerald had Minton Connell short, went down the line and looked to be too precise with it, sent it out of bounds on the full.
I've enjoyed seeing a lot of the play right in front of us today.
I only have 2 pairs of binoculars with me today. I think the WL Floyd Pavilion needs a grandstand full of them with the amount of play that's been seen right in front of us. DeClace will go down the line, didn't like the kick. Hung in the air and making it look a lot better was Garoni, who took a nice mark inside 50. DeClace is on short if he wants, he didn't. And so Garoni will go to the pocket instead, a couple to pick from. And it was through the hands of Keast, who was felled, and he'll go back for a set shot. Keast was shaping up to go around the corner. Jack Riding is in his ear, wanting the ball short. Don Brew then led up at him, and Keast said, nah, I'm just going to go back and have a go, and the scoreboard has now been fixed. There you go.
There we are.
So, Keast stands on the paint of 50 and moves in, looking for a consolation for Werribee. Goes right-footed. It looked good off the boot, but didn't come back as much as he wanted. Through to the narrow side for another behind.
Looked like it was going to come back, and as they have done all day, but I think the wind has sort of died down a tiny bit. So, Williamstown, 24 and a half minutes gone. They're going to try and get it up as quickly as they possibly can. It comes off hands of a couple of Seagulls. Quick kick comes forward, and Garoni can't quite trap it. Manages to get the handball away. And Minton Connell got it outside of the defensive 50. And taken down is Pinnock. Mikhail tells him about it too. Inboard kick. Goes through the hands of Triffett. Riding now. Mops up for Werribee. DeClace has it cut off by Mikhail, who gets a handball away, and they can move it now. Darby Henderson to Toner. Toner over the top. Paulson inside 50. Going to a pack. They have numbers. Bounces over their heads and out of play. Will get it tossed inside 50 for the Seagulls. So they're moving it a lot better in this quarter. The wind certainly helping that cause. It's going to be a wonderful evening for the Williamstown faithful. Downey did well. Couldn't quite trap it. Don Brew gets the kick away. Spoiled away, and Mikhail's going to try and get there. So is DeClace. And that's going to be wrapped up.
So Williamstown, after a defeat last week here against Footscray, will answer back with a win. One down by Petrick in the rock. As Williamstown looked too far and out. Greiser went for the body and then went back and found the ball. Then short for Fordham, who was wrapped up by Hayden Johnson. As this game starts to peter out towards a conclusion, and everyone affiliated with Werribee is just hoping now for the final siren to come as quick as possible. Petrick from behind won it down cleverly. Strong tackle from Toner, but the handball got out of there. DeClace to the overlap. Sent down the line from Brew towards Ajang. Good work from Gadsby, who was opposed to Werribee's number 39. Kick across the face of goal. Philpott waits for it and will mark in front of Jack Riding. And now with Rich. Had Minton Connell running inboard of him and then went to his outer side. Rich went the other way and ran more than his full measure. That's one you never ever see paid. But it's been paid there.
Hudson, no, it'll be Louis Pinnock.
Yep. Will take this on. This is beyond his measure, even not considering the fact that the wind's blowing against him. Sets it up towards Ajang, who got a free run at it and takes a mark. And we've praised the Williamstown defence so much, and rightly so, but that wasn't one of their best moments, allowing Emmanuel Ajang to get a free run at it.
It wasn't, but when you're 58 points up, 27 and a half minutes gone or into the last quarter.
Yeah.
I know they won't like it, but if there's a time to drop your bundle a little bit,
yeah,
it's
there.
now. Chunk time goals.
Emmanuel Ajang going for what will only be his second career VFL goal. Moves in right-footed and kicks it on the siren. And though a Werribee goal right on the siren, it's a Williamstown big win. And in a standalone stoush, it's the Seagulls who stand and deliver. Massive winners to the tune of 52 points. And the blue and gold emerge victorious on Anzac Day footy.
They were exquisite, weren't they, Ollie?